Okay, so take two. This is my fault.
Hi, and welcome to the Backyard Road Trips podcast. I'm Zack.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Katie.
My lovely wife and our special guest for a little bit today. This is wonderful.
Yeah, you've been the inspiration of many a podcast and told us what to do on a few different ideas. And the conversation here is kind of what we originally had the idea of travel. So what have we been doing lately? And Jim says he's been doing nothing, so we had to have a stand-in.
Right.
Yeah.
See, you've been...
Jim sent my mother and I on a trip to Prince Edward Island, Canada.
Yeah.
We got home last week. So
how long did you go for?
We went for a week, including travel, but we were on the island for 4 days.
Okay. So just so everyone knows, we already had this conversation, but I foolishly didn't record Katie's microphone, so we had to start over. So, okay, so your mom loves Anne of Green Gables.
Yes.
And hence the reason for this, because she had never gone, and we wanted to make sure that she could at least experience it. And my impression when you got home was that it was a little lackluster.
It was different than what we thought, but it was still good. We had a good time.
You thought there was going to be roller coasters?
Yeah.
And Green Gables themed roller coasters.
Yes.
Well, you were saying how there was a big, there was a park of museums, a bunch of shops that was supposed to be, and none of them were open, or
the Avonlea Village and all these things that because I did a lot of research before we left, so
right.
I could kind of plan out the days, and nowhere on the website did it say they didn't open until this weekend.
Wow. Okay.
So we get there, and there's the Anne of Green Gables store. We walk in, and I was like, oh, there's supposed to be the best ice cream in Canada here. They were not open.
That's
there were people there filling the cases. We were like, when do you open? They're like, oh, not until next week. And it was kind of like a Mystic Village kind of place. And the only thing open was a coffee shop. But they have a chocolate shop there. So we looked in, and it looked like there were no lights on, but there was stock in there. So we opened the door, and there was no one there.
Wow.
Just the door was unlocked.
You take some?
No. But then as we were leaving, there was this bus full of tourists that had come off a cruise ship that arrived, and they're like, what do you mean nothing's open? And we're like, you can walk around the village, but there's nothing there. And they were like, and the director was like our guess that it wasn't open yet.
Probably paid for an excursion, right?
Yeah.
And it's
the bus out to you would think the people that booked the trip would have known that they don't open until the end of June, which is when the season starts for the island.
It's interesting though when you have touristy places that are super seasonal. That we were even going to Bar Harbor in the April, 2 restaurants, and it's it was it was not old. It was maybe 50s, so it was plenty to do ADA wise, and nothing in the town that was open. In Plymouth, we have a little bit of that, but the season runs from, this is the hot season now, but it runs until about Thanksgiving because we do the big Thanksgiving stuff. But throughout the year, there's still events. We're not isolated like some, if you're in Bar Harbor, it's pretty far up there. But some of the waterfront shops close for a while, but not doesn't just disappear.
Yeah, we were very surprised.
I guess that makes some sense because it is a smallish island.
Yeah.
It's the smallest province, and then it's very far north, and it's still chill. Well, you planned on it being chilly, but it kind of wasn't, right?
The weather kept saying, between low 60s.
Mm-hmm.
One day was supposed to be 70. But then we got up there, and it was hot. One day it was almost 80.
Oh.
We were like, wow, we packed the wrong things.
Right.
But then it did get rainy, so that we're all right.
Yeah,
was
kind of
that
a bummer.
Because of the wildfires, the heat, or was it?
Oh, no, the wildfires didn't infect the island at all.
At all, okay.
And some people that we were talking to didn't even realize that half of Quebec was on fire.
Right.
And we were like, what do you mean? Coming from down here where we've been dealing with the smoke for weeks, and then going up there and there was nothing.
So then how did you get there? Did you have to take, this is how naive I am. I don't know. I know Prince Edward Island. How did you get?
So we drove, and there's I think it's the longest bridge in North America. Might even be the longest bridge, the Confederation Bridge. It is 8 miles long.
Wow.
and my mom is not a fan of bridges. So I was like, just don't look. But it's just a paved road.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have like wires or anything. It's pretty low to the river or the bay that is around there. And there's a tiny little crest. So she was okay. And then on our way back, it was so foggy you couldn't barely see the car in front of you.
Wow.
So
yeah.
And they have stoplights on all through the bridge. I mean, it was green, but then if there was a problem, they could stop you at a point.
Who's crossing the bridge at mile 4.
Right, yeah.
Right, yeah. So they could stop you and then get to the people that needed help because it was just the 2 lanes. So with big shoulders, but if somebody broke down, you wouldn't be able to get in, like all the trucks and everything, like the semis, they all cross. But you can also take a ferry to the island, but you have to take the bridge back.
You can't take the ferry out of the island?
I don't think so. Not as a passenger vehicle, because you don't pay the toll on the way in. You only pay it on the way out. So if you take the ferry, I think the ferry's free to go over. But I think you have to take the bridge on the way.
I guess I thought, you think your mom would have taken the ferry?
Oh, no. She hates boats more than she hates bridges.
Oh, all right. Well, all right. This is decently planned then.
Yeah.
So what was a highlight of the trip?
I think our Anne Day was different than what we thought, but it was great. We visited all the historical sites. They have a big replica of the house that's featured in the movie, and get to walk through. And they had some props from the movie, which was great. And they had a big like cultural center that you walk through first and learned a lot about the author's life.
What'd you learn?
We learned that she wrote almost 100 books, and only, I think there's 15 Anne books.
Wow.
And so the rest were all other books that we had no idea. And you learn about her life on the island, and she lived off island for.
It was erotic.
Yes.
What?
You wrote erotic.
Oriana erotica. Yes, that's what she wrote.
The bloomers were very.
And then we traveled to the house where she lived for a while with her cousins, and that's where she got married. And when she was living in that home, that's when she got the inspiration for Anne, and some of the things that you read about in the books are like in around that area, so you can kind of look out and see. So that was fun.
Was it pretty?
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Jim and I had previously gone to Cape Breton, and that was very like
for some fiddle music.
we were off season again.
Wait, going up in fall would be beautiful though.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing.
But that is very like mountainous.
And that's Prince Edward Island too, Cape Breton?
That's Cape
Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia still on it's more
east side.
Southeast. Yeah.
Prince Edward Island is on the west side of.
Yes.
Side.
Yeah. So I was expecting terrain like that, and when we were driving Cape Breton, like there's cliffs that you're driving around. It's like going to Yellowstone where you have like drips and stuff. But in Prince Edward, it is more rolling farmland, lots of farms. Some American Amish have transplanted up there because trying to find land in Pennsylvania and New York is so expensive. So the kids growing up are moving. They have like a booming Amish community.
Wow.
Yeah, we passed several horse and buggies.
That's so surprising because like your growing season must be 5 minutes long. Right.
Well, they grow mostly root vegetables and wheat, so it doesn't take like the root vegetables can be in the ground when it's cold.
Yeah,
right. Some fields were just starting to be tilled.
Wow.
But all the dirt is red. Like the whole island, all the dirt, the sand is red, and it was odd.
How long did it take?
I think it's like a 15-hour drive if you drive straight. So we drove and stopped right over the border in a little town. I don't remember the name. And then drove about 5 hours to the island.
So you had a 12-hour drive the first day.
Yeah, it was like 8, I think, the first. And then...
And you drove through Maine?
Yes, we drove through basically right up 95.
Okay.
And then we went east and went through Chalice. So I don't know the name of the town. A little town with a big border cross. Like that's the biggest one. And we had gone through that one. And we were the only car on either side.
Uh-huh.
We didn't have to wait at all.
Yeah, that's cool.
And we got right through. And then on the way back, we went a different way. And actually on 95, there's a border crossing, and they only had one lane open, and we sat for like a half hour. And by the time we left, it must have taken like 2 hours for the people behind us.
It's taken me one time. It was a few hours. We went to, it was the border crossing in Niagara Falls. We went, the Red Sox, this is when the Red Sox were really good, and everybody would travel to places to see them. They had a weekend series in the summer against Toronto Blue Jays. And it took us probably about an hour and a half to get into Canada because it was like right around that time. I mean, it was just a busy crossing. Then we left. It was a day game. It was Sunday. We left after the game. And by the time we got to the border crossing, it was, it took us just so long. All the,
all the people coming from the game.
Yeah, like the whole like crazy, but it took forever.
Wow. Now they have a website you can look and it'll tell you about
it is
like under a half hour or under like.
That's a very good travel tip.
Yeah.
That is a great trip.
Yeah.
Go for it. By the way, we're drinking some Fox Farm beer.
That's right. Yeah, we should. Yes.
Yeah.
Delicious. That first one was a Keller beer.
Keller beer. Franconian style lager.
That means from New Hampshire.
Very good. Yes.
That's right. Are you guys going back to New Hampshire this summer?
I don't have plans currently.
Right.
What do you got here?
This is the alt beer.
Oh, yeah. Geez, that's way darker than I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a...
You've got to wear flannel for that.
Yeah, holy cow. I thought I was getting some light stuff. But
right, I was like, oh, alt. That's probably... you pour as well as I do, by the way.
It's pretty awful.
Yeah.
It'll go down.
So, Katie, did you want any beer?
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Maybe we could share.
I have my phone saying.
So, New Hampshire's on the hold, right?
I'd love to go, but I don't know. Between
you guys, again,
between work and like
doing
other commitments, just
parents are taking a road trip for 6 or 8 weeks.
Seriously?
Yeah, they're going out west.
Wow.
They bought an RV.
That's pretty cool.
They're living the RV life. So I have my nieces for the summer.
Oh, you do?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go to New Hampshire. So I had something tickle in my throat.
Jim, we have plenty of room.
So, Katie, going back to Prince Edward Island, do you think your mom would do it again, or you?
I think she probably would want to explore Nova Scotia more, like Nova Scotia proper.
Yep.
Because we kind of drove all over the island and saw, it was beautiful. And the cabins we stayed at were great. If we were to do like a family trip there's a lot of, in the area where we were staying, there was like a lot of little amusement parks and kind of like in Cape Cod, where they have like miniature golf and like a little roller coaster thing, kind of like that.
Anne of Green
None of
Gables
which was
roller coaster.
open when we were there, but and the beaches were beautiful that we visited. So if you were to do a family trip, I would just make sure you go in season when all of that stuff is open.
It'd be nice if they advertised when the season was.
Yes.
Because you kind of expect that June is maybe late enough to think that things are
Well, we
open.
knew we were going a little before like high season, but I thought more things would be open, but they were preparing. I think like next week is probably the opening of their like high season. So, but me personally, without like taking the family there, I think it's done.
Off the bucket list. Don't have to go again.
Yeah.
Had fun. But
you want to, though. Is that a no?
No, I would definitely go back to Cape Breton.
My folks are going to Nova Scotia on a tour in fall.
Oh, that's right. That's really cool.
In like September.
They're doing the whole peninsula, whatever it is.
No, not a cruise. They're flying up.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're taking a bus tour. You get to be a certain age, I guess.
We saw lots of them when we were up there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go on Cape Breton on a bus, though. Those are like cliffs. Just road.
We didn't
and
see
then
any
stops.
buses. Well,
I guess
we were up there.
We didn't really. But going into like the mainland area, yeah,
Halifax.
We never came close to Halifax. It's like the difference between like going from New Hampshire to Pennsylvania. Like it's that big.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
But I remember you said there was a lot of driving.
Yeah.
Well, in Cape Breton, it was like one road that went around the whole island.
Yeah.
And, like that was
crazy.
it. Because a lot of it's national forest, so they didn't have any roads to cut across.
Right.
Yeah.
So we really had to plan our day.
Yeah. But coming back from this, you guys almost crossed paths because you went to Freeport.
Yeah, I was staying in. I went to Portland twice. The last 2 different trips though. They were about a week and a half, 2 weeks apart. One was a men's weekend, which was
You're making it sound more insidious than it was.
No, it was. It was a lot of lot of beer drink. We just went for the night. So we did.
Okay.
We got up there around 11:30 for our first brewery. Went to Maine Beer Company.
Yep.
For the first one. Everybody ate a whole pizza. Kind of like,
Awesome.
the pizzas are so good there. I mean, like, the beer is amazing at Maine Beer Company, but the food, yeah, have you been there before?
No, so we almost ate there
Oh, really?
because we asked a kid that was working at the
Yeah.
Patagonia store, like, what's good to eat around here. On our last day, we came through there.
So the
And
pizza
he
is
was like, Maine Brewing Company. But then we saw something else across the street.
McDonald's.
But then you saw like Zach's post, and you're like, "Oh
Yeah,
my
when
god!"
we got home,
Mhm.
well, I saw your post
That
and
would
I
have
was
been
like,
so funny.
we could have crossed the
Right. Yeah. So we like, this is our second annual this trip with the guys. We added another guy, so it was 5 of us. Started Maine Beer Company and then worked our way where we went to. Actually, no, we went to Bissell first. We went to
The
Bissell.
vacuum cleaner manufacturer.
Yes,
Yes.
Bissell, and then what's the other one? Orkin? No, Orkin's. So we went to Bissell Brothers in Portland, then up to Freeport where
Yep.
we had a reservation and had our whole pizza, and then
You didn't stay
flight
overnight.
there. Yeah, we stayed overnight.
Oh, okay.
And we checked into the Hampton Inn,
Okay.
and then we went
Drink
to
on.
went to the industrial park area with Allagash, Austin Street. Was celebrating the 9th anniversary, I think. So there were some special deals. It was like $5 pints and $9 4-packs. It was like 9 year ago prices. I'm like, 9 years ago, 4-pack was $9, and now it's like, however much it is, so $20. So we went there, and then we went down to the East Bayside area of Portland. We did the other Austin Street, and then we did Rising Tide. We did Bellflower. And at Bellflower is where I started. So the group was starting to waver, and I was like, no, we need to keep going. We need to go to new places.
Nice.
Kind of taking charge. But then we went to Lone Pine, which makes the OJ beer. If you've ever had that, you
No.
can find it in the grocery store, or not, probably not. I mean, in the liquor stores. Very good, New England IPA. But I was drinking low ABV. I was going for 3.8% at
Nice.
Austin Street, 5, 6. You know what I mean? Trying to keep it cool.
Marathon days.
Yeah. At Bellflower, I thought, let me order 2. And at that point, I was like, I'll just take 2. Whatever you tell me to get, I'll get to the bartender. Gave me 2 things. No idea what the percentage. But the OJ, I said to Mike, what beer should we get here? He said, we need 5 OJs. So I just got them. And they're like 8%, 9%. And at this point, this is our 9th brewery, I
Oh
think.
man! Wow.
So that was the needle that broke the camel's back.
Oh no.
But then I disappear to go find Good Fire, which is up the hill. And I'm like leaving my credit card in the machine. You know what I mean? And then we go to a restaurant, to Duck Fat in Portland, to eat at. Dan, one of our friend Dan, decides after, 9 beers, he's going to order a Pinot Noir for dinner. So he has this. Don't even remember. I ate like part of my meal. Don't even. So, and then we went to this place called $3 Dewey's. It's like a dive-ish towny bar to end the night. And then, that was kind of the adventure.
That's a great adventure. And you kind of seem like you remember all of it. Which
I
is
do. I
impressive.
remember each stop.
That's great.
I don't really remember the walk too much I don't remember dinner so well. I remember being there, but I don't really remember the food, how it tasted.
Did you have 2 dinners then? Because you just talked about a whole pizza, and now
No,
you
that
stopped.
was lunch.
Oh, okay. Well, you gotta get that base
But
layer.
it was that. I think that OJ was the one that did get us in. And the Bellflower, just because we were Rising Tide, 2 stops before, still feeling fine outside, having some good laughs, And then I went and I started getting dumb.
Yeah.
I went for, because I was excited that last year we went to Bellflower, never heard of their stuff, never heard of them before. And they were really the hidden gem.
Yeah.
Loved their beer.
Really?
Really good.
Wow.
And I was excited to be there. So I was like, oh, what do you recommend right now? You know what I mean? Kind of thing. And they gave me whatever they recommended, not knowing that I'd already been to, 6 breweries at this point. So that was bad.
That was the OJ?
That was the stop before the OJ.
Sorry. So what did they recommend?
It was
a travel
like
podcast,
it was like
man.
true. It was, I don't remember what they recommended.
Oh man.
But they were 2 IPAs, the good New England style IPAs.
Would you say the
which-
IPAs are what you go to if you're going somewhere? You're just gonna order an IPA.
I feel like there is a part of me that wants to know what beer is the it beer of this place that I need to try.
Yeah.
And often, unfortunately, it is an IPA. So I'm personally a little bit tired of the New England style IPAs right now. I'll give me a West Coast tiny IPA, and I'm more excited about it because I feel like any brewery now can do a pretty good New England style IPA, but that's kind of, it's harder to do good versions of, lagers or whatever else. But I do get suckered into, this place is really known for their blank. Oh, I need to try that, So. And then by the time I was at Lone Pine, I didn't care what I had. And of course, I get the 9% or 8%. And OJ was delicious on draft.
What is an OJ was an IPA?
Yeah. Tastes like,
Does it look
juice.
like an IPA?
It's actually,
does it look like orange juice?
No, it's actually blood from OJ Simpson. So,
ouch. Okay.
If I did it.
Dark turn.
So
if I did it. That's so good.
So that's where, OJ's orange juice. And then one that was highly recommended was a brewery called Good Fire, which last year I had at this really cool Nova Res or Nova Res beer bar, like mostly all Belgian beers and stuff like that. It's subterranean, like in the basement.
Cool.
Really cool. Looks like you're in Europe somewhere. And they had a Good Fire. They had an Oxbow takeover that night, but then they had Good Fire. And I was like, I've heard a lot of stuff about Good Fire. Let me try that. And it was really good. So that's why I was like, I need to go to this Good Fire, which was in the same building as Lone Pine, but it was up the hill behind.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guys were out in the sun, enjoying, just sipping. And I need to go. So that's why I disappeared. So then, So again, not great choices there. But, and then the next morning after, one of us threw up in the parking lot. Just like not great choices. And then we went to get pastries in the morning and left. That was that. So then a week and a half later, I went, or a week and a half earlier, I'd gone with the kids.
Yeah.
And Jackie during April vacation. And we went and Maine Beer Company as well.
Yeah.
Rising Tide as well. And Tommy pretty much got tossed out of Rising Tide for being terrible.
Really?
By us. Yeah. He
What?
was being, he's kicking, he's throwing stuff. He's like, ready to throw this food. So you'll see him probably at some point just melt and just start like hitting something. Probably one of us. So that was, so it was a similar area, but very different things that we did. So LL Bean.
LL Bean, right? Did you go at midnight?
Yeah, me and Danny went at midnight.
Oh, come on, boy. We're going up for shop for some boots. But well, I ask about Maine Beer Company because you did lead to a blog post. So would you say that? Because you just talked about Bellflower. Is that a new favorite or
no? Maine Beer. There's certain breweries to me, and Fox Farm is certainly one of them that just make damn good stuff.
Yeah,
and I feel like with Maine Beer Company, that's everything they make really, really good. So you're not going to be disappointed. You go there, it's crisp. It all tastes very tastes like it's made with just the best water you've ever had. So clean and clear and whatever. And the food's amazing. So it's just one of those places that if I see a Maine Beer Company, like yesterday, I was out at the wedding. We decided to stop at a dive bar during the wedding. And on the way to get beer at a liquor store, then bring back to the wedding. But and they had a Maine Beer Company lunch. I could say it wasn't the freshest because it didn't have that same, but it's still a really good beer. And if I had it there, it's a good, solid product.
What's your favorite expression that they offer?
Probably their dinner, which is their double IPA. And that was one that used to be so hard to find. It was 3 times a year they'd release it. You have to get tickets to get it. And there was hours line to get this. Now you can get it at the brewery pretty regularly.
It's it's on tap at the brewery and you can buy bottles of it. That's cool. Did you stock up?
I got 2 bottles with the time I went with the kids and 1 bottle. Yeah.
Cool.
Have you guys ever had Maine Beer Company?
I've had lunch, I think.
Yeah, lunch was always there.
Mm-hmm. It's that you point out in the podcast or the blog, but it's the really unassuming label.
Yeah, it's
just
print shop label. Mm-hmm.
Lunch.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I find that really appealing. You when you don't need to dress it up. If you're important,
right?
You don't need flash,
right?
There's
dragons and whatever on it, pirates and anything else to it.
Yep, that's cool. Do you think you got? And also, you just went to Saratoga Springs?
Yeah, we've done 3 trips so far. We have 4 trips this spring and summer. The first one was Maine, then we did Vermont. So we went back to Vermont. But
really? Vermont too?
Yeah, we stayed in Burlington because our place that we used to stay at in Stowe, which was kind of like a 1950s resort, quote unquote. It's like a motel. This chain of Bluebird, if you've heard of Bluebird, Latch hotels. I think it's probably the popularity of Schitt's Creek. They're taking not great, motels and making them like luxurious. So they just bought the property that we used to always stay at. It's probably going to make it unreasonable to stay there because it was a suite and whatever else. So we stayed at a residence inn in Burlington. Actually never did anything really in Burlington proper. We did, Creamy and Montpelier, which is the Maple Lake. We went to St. Albans, which I've never been to before. That's like an old railroad town. And then, so we went there and had lunch, walked around, bookstore, coffee, stuff like that, kind of just out. Okay, I did Stowe for a little bit, The Path. We did The Alchemist, which of course is my favorite. Yeah. Then, Danny, you want to tell us a little bit about Vermont trip? What did we do?
We went to Ben and Cherry.
You get the vanilla ice cream again? No. Well, don't sass me. You talked about vanilla as your favorite last time. All right, so Vermont and then also Saratoga Springs.
We got from Saratoga Springs, which was one of the coolest things that we did without kids was I contacted the Cooperstown Distillery.
Cool.
And they have a branch called their Beverage Exchange, which is basically they have all their products there. They don't distill there, but they have because the distillery is located in Cooperstown, we're in Saratoga. But we were able to go in there. We made a time, and Jackie and I got to taste a bunch of stuff. And they made us cocktails, just like
Did you do it
on the
under
house.
The backyard road trips? Like, are you able to?
Yep.
Are you going to
contact them ahead of time? So I'm going to write you an article. We write an article.
Awesome.
Yeah. So super great.
What was your highlight there?
They made the two first drinks we had were out of this world. One was like something with wasn't cool as a cucumber, but something as a cucumber, and it was a gin-based drink, but it was so refreshing. Like cucumber, which I don't really.
You're
think
a fan.
And then it was a raspberry mule that Jackie had. That was so good. Those were the two. I think the ultimate. I did buy one thing. As you can see, the liquor shelf is pretty well stocked. A lot of more stuff. So I got like a sampler, which the guy was like, this is not our top shelf stuff because people like because it's a baseball. And I just liked it because it was a baseball. So I did that instead because I'm like, I don't need another bottle. Like I couldn't really.
You got to get rid of the china over here and put the booze in there.
I think so. That's it. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, Saratoga was great. When we ate well, the kids did well overall. Went to the auto museum, the children's museum. I know it's like the racing. We went to racing museum, the horse racing museum. I did have the Ubu beer. Have you heard of Ubu? So it's a strong ale. I'll have to have you take one. It's was supposed to be Bill Clinton's favorite beer.
Really?
And Bill Clinton, and I guess
great president.
So one of his staffers, went to the Lake Placid Brewery, and brought him some of it or whatever. And this is the best beer ever. And he ordered like tons of growlers for a party or whatever. And that was it. That was the story. So they had Ubu.
Man's got great taste.
They had Ubu ale, and I tried it, and it wasn't very good. And I had it in the hot tub, just didn't do it. But then I was talking to the guy at the distillery, where the beverage exchange, the bartender, and he was like, "Yeah, but if Saranac makes it, Saranac Brewing, but if you get it at the brewery itself, it's really good." That's
all right.
Not that. But what else did we do in Saratoga? Anything? What was your favorite part?
I like the mini ha-ha and the mini golf.
Mini ha-ha and
everything spots with Minnie
Mouse. So one of Danny's least favorite parts was we played mini golf, and it was the first mini golf we played, Dan's mini golf, and we had to separate the group because Grampy was getting a little bit tired of Tommy's antics at the mini golf. So Tommy and I went ahead. We played, and Tommy did in-depth learning, which was good. Danny was playing with the other three. They had this thing at the end. You know how it was like a hole-in-one at the end, you get a free game, whatever. It wasn't a hole-in-one. It was like a ramp thing, but it was like 3 swirls. And if you hit it just right between like the 1 and the 2, there is like a little like hole that would go in that you get a free, which was so of all the time that we were there, say an hour, 15, one person got it. Except Tommy did it, and Tommy did it by rolling the ball and got that. So the alarm goes off. He's like, please, and the girl that was like, here you go. So got him the Tommy won the free. He was so proud of it that he slept with his free game coupon. So that was cute, you have to admit. And then he was bad, so I ripped it up. No, I'm kidding. And
Danny, did he rip it up?
He did.
No, yeah, he's lying right now. He did rip it up.
No, it's actually in the cabinet down here with our coupons. So yeah, so Saratoga was cool. It's much. What about the mini ha, but with Lake George? Yes, went to Lake George too. So that was always fun. Ate pretty well, right? Went to a couple of breweries up there. Common Roots we went to. We went to Druthers. Good. And that literally those. Then by the last day, I was like, I need to go to any more breweries. I think
You didn't go to any when we went.
no.
Well, I was pregnant, so would have not.
In Saratoga,
Lake George and
Lake George.
and Lake
yeah.
Placid.
Lake George is fun. The Minnehaha. So Danny, why don't you tell us about the Minnehaha?
Okay, so the Minnehaha is a boat.
True, it's a boat. What kind of boat is it, Danny?
I think it's a big boat.
Is it a paddle boat?
No.
Steamboat?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Look, there's an elephant.
Look, there's a
Yes, so we went on a Minnehaha, which is a steamboat on Lake George.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, a little cruise. Except some of these kids were afraid of the stack. Yeah, too loud.
scream is louder than the stack.
Yeah, you were scared of the stack blowing too.
I thought it was going to be
Danny.
louder.
It could be louder than it
Yeah,
was. Much louder.
but louder than defense.
That's true. We went to the women's basketball game last year, and Tommy got scared of the noise there too.
Louder than that and that.
No.
He fell asleep like that. He's just like,
That's true.
oh.
No monster truck race for Tommy.
Oh, yeah. I've been there twice.
That's true. You have. You were scared one time too, though. You were young.
Yeah, I was young.
So,
I didn't scream like first.
So then we have Seattle in 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. So
How long are you going for?
10 days.
Wow.
8 days. 8 days.
This is a lot
7
of
days.
travel for you. It seems like.
I think, when you're talking about turning 40, I was like, I said one letter and I said it. So then I just said, like not getting any younger. And I know it's not opportune to travel with these beefcakes, but both Saratoga and Seattle, I'm not jam packing things in. Like for Seattle, we have a Mariners game tickets
Cool.
and we're going to do a national park. There's 3 right there.
Which one? I have to know.
So Olympics when we want to go to, but it's going to be, it's like a 3 hour and 3.5. So we're thinking of North Cascade.
Really? That's like a lesser used one, known one. Yeah.
So Mount Rainier I've been to before.
Have you?
You
Okay.
forgot about the Saratoga, the
National Historical Park.
the baseball game.
Oh yeah, Danny and I went to Glens Falls for a baseball
Nice.
game at like
The 17th
17 floor was
Wow. We're
two,
playing a
two
T-ball
hours.
team. Holy
That
crap.
was 2 hours took for 2 innings. They got mercy. And then in the 7th inning, yeah.
That's beautiful.
So-
That's the best way to win.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm not like no big expectations. You know what I mean? Just trying to go and enjoy the area.
Oh, that's really cool.
I get a coffee, a donut, whatever, beer. So yeah, so that's what we're thinking of because it really is going to take one way. You have to take a ferry to the Olympic, the quickest way, and then because it's like where it's located, like across the bay, and then to go up and around takes like 3 or something, or 3.5, just to like the opening part. And that's,
Wow.
so
Do you have to
It's
make
about-
reservations to go in?
I don't think so, but
That's
I think it's
good.
supposed to be pretty wild, crazy. Because it's supposed to be beautiful. So it's like rainforest and beach
yeah,
and
beach,
everything.
mountains, all of it.
Where North Cascades is pretty much mountain, not. But I think we'll probably do that.
Awesome. Want to hear all the stories.
Yeah,
Say Bigfoot lives up there.
that's right. Yeah, you want to go see Bigfoot?
I hear he steals badly behaved boys.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that also?
Punch him with blood and death.
I'm going to punch him with blood and death. Bigfoot doesn't know what he's in.
There you go, grave.
All right. Well, that's great, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Brave. This is the Backyard Road Trips podcast. I'm Zach.
I'm Jim.
I'm Katie.
I'm Daniel Jones, but blood.
Butt blood.
You can find us at backyardroadtrips.com or on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.